Good morning. We begin our time together in song. Please join me in singing Morning Has Broken by Eleanor Fargion. And please make sure your microphone is muted so you can sing along very enthusiastically to welcome in this beautiful actual spring day. Glad you're here. Let's sing. Good morning and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Gwinnett. My name is Jan Taddeo. My pronouns are she, her, and hers. It is my great privilege and my great joy to serve our faith as a minister of this congregation. I am so glad we can be together in this way or in any way on Sunday morning. Thank you for being here. If you have a chalice or candle you want to light in a few minutes, please have it ready. We arrive here from many places and many life experiences as we gather in this cherished space to recall our true selves, reflect on the meaning of our lives, and explore questions of ultimacy together. We are people who are new to Unitarian Universalism and people who are lifelong Unitarian Universalists. We are people of many religious beliefs and spiritual practices. We affirm and promote the responsible search for truth and meaning. We are people of many genders, sexualities, ethnicities, origins, ages, shapes, sizes, and expressions of our true selves. We affirm and promote the inherent worth and dignity of every person. We are people of all ages and family structures, and we each bring gifts, talents, and passions that serve to affirm and promote communities with peace, liberty, and justice for all. We are people of covenant who engage with one another in ways that promote and affirm justice, equity, and compassion in human relations. We are people who care deeply for our planet and understand we are inextricably and profoundly connected with the web of all existence. We are people who welcome all who are seeking a community of faith that welcomes your whole self, all that you were, all that you are, all that you yearn to be. And you are just where you should be, in a room full of compassionate, thoughtful Unitarian Universalists, ready to meet you where you are. You are welcome here. You are home. And if you are a newcomer this morning, I welcome you, we welcome you, and we hope that you will indeed find your spiritual home here with us. We are becoming a radically welcoming sanctuary in a green space. We foster spiritual growth as we joyfully nurture connections and community within our walls and beyond. If this is your first time here, I encourage you to join us several times to experience the full flavor of this congregation and this faith tradition, and come and walk towards that vision with us with curiosity, courage, and compassion. Welcome. And I invite us all to take a deep breath and bring ourselves more fully into this precious time we've set aside to be together this week. And with another breath, just bring every molecule of your being to this moment. And allow the sound of the bell to wash over you, to bring you present to the deep and inextricable interconnectedness we have with one another, with all life on this planet, with all the stars in the cosmos. We are one. Since 2012, we have offered a ritual for mass shootings that claim the lives of people going about their daily activities in places where people have some expectation of safety. A house of worship, a school, the workplace, a shopping center, dining establishment, entertainment center, and so forth. We say the names of those who died and drop a glass stone into this container to honor the life of each person taken far too soon. This morning, we pause to honor the lives of the 8 people killed this week in Ackworth and Atlanta. Please bear witness as I say their names. Xiao Junton, Dao Youfeng, Paul Andre Michaels, Elcias R. Hernandez Ortiz, Hyun Chung Grant, Sun Chung Park, Sun Ta Kim, Yong A Yu, Amen. Our words for our call to worship come from the Reverend Scott Alexander. Come, dear friends. Come into this hour of worship and togetherness. Come with eyes ready to see, a throat willing to sing, ears open to hear, a mind eager to know, and a heart poised to feel. Enter fully into this hour of worship and togetherness and be blessed. And now if you have your chalices ready, we'll light our chalice here with you. These words come from Penny Hackett Evans. As others before us have sought to make ordinary time special by lighting a candle, we now seek to transform this ordinary time into a special and sacred one by lighting the flaming chalice, symbol of our faith. And now it's time for our Wonder Box. Us curious Unitarian Universalists wonder what's in the Wonder Box. Let's see. Oh, all kinds of interesting things. Well, let's start with these. This looks like fun. Let's see. If I could juggle these. Oh, I don't think I'm going to be able to juggle those. Okay. But I know someone in our congregation who is a really amazing juggler, but not me. And then there's this thing here. Looks like some kind of a puzzle. Let's see. Let's see how it works. Maybe I can get all the pieces to fit just right, huh? Yeah, that's it. I'm going to get them all in just exactly right. Uh-oh. I don't know. Maybe. Uh-oh. Well, I guess, I like to say whatever happens is perfect. So that's perfect, right? And there's a basket. Some of you know I love baskets, and this is one of them. So today we're going to be talking about bringing balance to our lives, balancing our commitments, our promises, and our responsibilities. But I'm actually not really big on balance, so I'll get there later. But sometimes life is a little bit more like trying to put all the pieces exactly in place so they all fit perfectly and everything feels well ordered and it's all gonna work and it all fits. And sometimes it feels like we're just keeping something in the air and running to get the next thing that's in the air, and it feels a little frantic and anxiety provoking to me. And then there's the image of the basket, where we're just taking the different parts of our lives and weaving them together to create something strong and purposeful. So I'm going to go with that basket image today rather than the scales of balance. And now this is our work, weaving the pieces of our lives together to do what we are called to be and do, and weaving in not just the tasks, but the purpose and the beauty and the appreciation and the joy, so we can treasure this greatest gift of all. And let's sing to that. Life is the greatest gift of all, by William Oliver, James Leith Macbeth Bain. Our reading this morning comes from Gretchen Haley. It's titled, "A Person Will Worship Something." Whenever someone devotes their life and best efforts to something smaller than what is of ultimate value, they are committing idolatry. We humans have this innate desire to orient our lives around something we can consider ultimately worthy. Something so important that we can devote our attention and resources to it. And yet we aren't always all that good at figuring out what is worthy of such devotion. And for some of us, it almost seems like we will devote our lives to the exact opposite of what would be worthy. Compulsively, hungrily, We prize an overbooked schedule or knowing the most about the most things. We cherish a perfect performance at work or those elusive six-pack abs. We center our lives around a healthy and balanced bank account or being constantly connected in our social network of choice. We devote all our thinking to our children becoming high achievers, or we arrange our whole lives based on what will save the most time. Whatever it is, we put these things first, maybe not even consciously, and we order our lives around them. And this stuff is ultimately, of course, unfulfilling, because they are not the ultimate good. They are idols. So, what are you carrying in your life, on your heart, that is getting in the way of life's gifts? What are you orienting your life around that will not lead you to love, but keep you from it? You know, we've been going the distance. We've been going a distance for over a year now in this pandemic. We've gone the distance for 40 years as a congregation. For 40 years, this congregation has been a place for people to come and belong, to learn, to seek, to grow, to serve. And each of you has found your way here to this place. You went the distance in your spiritual journey to find us, to serve us, to serve yourself, to serve the greater good. So Gretchen Haley's words really resonated with me about this question of to what do we devote our lives? And this idea of balancing our lives, well, in honor of the equinox yesterday at 5:37 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time in Kenya, it's one spot in Kenya, balance is a little maybe overrated. Twice a year, we have an equinox experience on this planet, but it's fleeting. That balance of night and day is just for a few moments. And then we continue to be growing in light, decreasing in light, whatever it is. So maybe balance isn't what we ought to be seeking. Maybe it's purpose that we're seeking. Meaning, a sense of belonging, a sense of serving, alleviating suffering, to work towards that beloved community where we've done all that we can to eradicate racism and transphobia and poverty and illness and the basic suffering of grief and loss that will always be part of the human experience. That we are here to hold one another through all of that and companion one another through the suffering that we can't alleviate. People come to places of worship, places of faith, to seek meaning and purpose in their lives. They also seek community. They seek a sense of oneness, of belonging, of being fully themselves in a community that accepts and loves one another as they are. In this congregation, we do that by promoting trust and compassion and inquiry and curiosity and courage. And we have a bold vision for radical welcome and green space and spiritual growth and connection and care. It's a lot to live into. It's exciting. It's inviting. There's so much that we can offer. I, as a young adult, came back to my home congregation in Fairfax, Virginia, in Oakton, Virginia, actually. It was a UU congregation of Fairfax, but it was in Oakton, Virginia. And I think pretty much from the moment I walked in the door, I was, I think, 30 when I walked in the door, and I was always engaged in service. I taught religious exploration classes. I was a leader on the board of trustees. I was a lay minister. I was the chair of the worship committee. I ran the stewardship campaign for 2 years. I worked on creating our mission statement, and I did 100 little odds and end things all the time, helping with a whole Wednesday night family night that we did for a few years. It was just really exciting and wonderful. Every Wednesday, a meal and games and fun and connecting. And we raised our son to be a part of this community too. And we taught him to be of service, to have something larger to serve. He ended up serving at the district level with youth programs, and later as an adult went on to serve his congregation on the board of trustees and on the interim minister search team. And so I would say that is a success. But mainly, we did all of that while we were engaged in sports and working full time and baking and celebrating and having holidays and birthdays with extended family and going camping and on beach trips and hiking and doing all kinds of things. We did all of that. And I remember thinking, how do I balance all this? How do I put all this in order? And I think it's a question I've been asking for ever since. How do I get balance? And I've just come to realize there's no way to balance all this. It really is more like this basket, just weaving the pieces together to create something meaningful and purposeful, to serve humanity, to serve the earth. Now, that was a large congregation that I was a part of. They had, at the time we were there, about 600 or 700 members. I think they're up to 800 or 900 now. And, one could kind of hide in the pews and not do a whole lot of stuff in a very large congregation like that. But at this congregation, we really need everyone. Everyone has a part to play in making things work, from big parts to little parts. Everything makes a difference. We need everyone to attend, to show up. We have people who are leading activities and offering interesting programs, and people need to show up so that their efforts can reap and benefit for the community. We need people to serve in bigger ways too. And I'm bringing this in now because I want you to start thinking about this. We're almost into April. Our nominating committee will be looking for people to serve on the Board of Trustees and on the nominating committee, and want you to start thinking about that. What might that look like for you if you were to step into a leadership role in our congregation? Maybe start planning now to say yes when you're asked, or stepping up and just contacting them and saying, hey, what kind of things are you needing? Maybe I could do something. There's other ways to support us. We have a reconvening team I'm putting together to look at our whole process for reconvening, mostly the when, and a little bit of the how. And then we have other people who are going to be working on who and what and things like that. So I need a couple more people, preferably people who've been with the congregation, in the last 5 to 10 years, maybe people with children at home who are active in the congregation and have that lens to look through. I've got a great team so far. I just need a couple more. So let me know if you're interested. We have a long list of reopening projects to make our place look great for when we do come back. And those are great things to volunteer for if you've got limited time. We just need some people to show up to do a project here and a project there, like helping to paint the bathrooms or attaching privacy panels onto the extensions onto the privacy panels and things like that. So let me know how you want to help with those things. We need people to lead our 10 o'clock programs. Christiana McQuain, our coordinator of family ministries, creates the program with you and helps you to make that happen, and will guide you every step of the way. It's easy. Pastoral care, we're always, looking for more pastoral care team members. Next year, some people may be choosing to step off. We need more people to step on. Same with our worship team. We're running on just a few people on our worship team now. So if you've thought you'd like to be on the worship team, let me know. There's lots of ways you can support this congregation. And I know that sometimes we make commitments to things and then we kind of get into it and it's not what we thought, or maybe we weren't fully equipped to do the job in the way that we thought it should be done. And so those are things we should talk about when that happens. But also we can lose enthusiasm. This happened to me recently. I have a volunteer role in another UU organization, and I love this community that I'm serving as a volunteer. I love them dearly. I've been part of it for 25 years. Yet it was starting to feel hard and heavy. And then I talked with someone and found a way to reframe it and create another story, and help me remember how very important this community is and how much I love it, and how doing this work is so vital and important to them realizing their vision of what their community could be. I came to realize that it matters, that I matter, that I can make a difference. I also recognize that I'm modeling service for the next generation, and I invite you to think about that too. What do our young people understand about what it is to be part of a congregation? Do they understand you have to work to make things happen in a congregation? And I think we do that pretty well. I'm so pleased to see young people showing up to help tear up the old sidewalk and pour the new sidewalk. And I know that there are young people who come and help with the food drive and other events and activities that we do. So juggling again is, I think, dangerous. Somebody can get hurt when I drop the ball and knock them on the head with it. And balancing is an illusion, but weaving the parts of our lives together, I think is really quite doable. And it makes for a beautiful thing. This is all the same color, but if you want to imagine weaving your life in a tapestry of beautiful hues and colors and stories and ways that you have served a community you love, served a cause that you care about, served a family that is precious to you. Those are things to weave into your tapestry. Life is a precious gift. When the end nears, what will you look back on? What will you feel good about? Did you finish Netflix? Did that feel good? or finish, read every post on Facebook or watch all the movies on TikTok? Those probably aren't the accomplishments at the end of your life that you'll go back and say, wow, my life really made a difference and mattered. Can you say you served well? Can you say that you mitigated suffering? Can you say, I said yes to life, to truth, and to love? Here in this congregation, we strive to create a model of beloved community, and we do this in part through the care and support of one another. We each arrive here holding joys and sorrows, triumphs and disappointments. We set aside time in this communal space to honor that which we carry on our hearts, to celebrate together and to grieve together. If you would like your joy or sorrow shared aloud in the service, please share it in the chat space on Zoom, and our pastoral care associate, Bill Benshoff, will read them aloud as I light a candle of compassion to lift your joy or sorrow into the collective consciousness. Before we start sharing, I invite us now to enter into a time of silent reflection as we create a container of compassion to hold our joys and our sorrows. Into this container, we offer that which is most on our hearts to share with this beloved and supportive community. We light one last candle for the joys and the sorrows that are held in the silent sanctuary of the heart. May we hold one another with loving kindness and compassion. Amen. And let us respond by singing together Voice Still and Small by John Corrado.
A little over 25 years, when my company had transferred from Connecticut to Georgia, I had three big things on my to-do list. One was find a house with property that my wife would be happy with. Two, get the boys enrolled in schools. And three, find a church in the area, a Unitarian church. So I looked in the phone book. The phone book is a thing before Google, if anybody knows that. And so I found out there was one on Bethesda Church Road. I started driving down that road. I didn't see anything for a long time, and I was almost to Ronald Reagan Parkway, and I looked over the hill to the left, and I saw a metal building, a blue metal building, down the side of a hill. I thought, well, that must be it. It looked very practical to me. And I thought of the words that my father would say sometimes at moments like this, and he said, well, they must have their heads in the right place. And that is probably true, but they also must have their hearts in the right place. It is what's inside that counts, don't you think? But as we know, it takes heads and hearts, contributions of time and treasure to create an organization, put up a building, and have the courage and foresight to make it happen. The endowment fund is a part of the financial strength of our organization, and to grow that part, we make contributions, some on a regular basis, like the birthday club, where you donate your age in dollars every year. That was fun when I was a kid. My mother did the same thing, gave us a check for our age every year, and then later on it wasn't as much fun. Now this year we have a special opportunity to celebrate our upcoming 40th anniversary as a congregation. It is called the 40 for 40 campaign. You may have gotten one of these in the mail or some other notification about the campaign, which will run through March and April. With your $40 gift, you will receive a beautiful Blue Boat Home mug designed by our own Katrina Yurko. It is microwave safe and can hold 16 ounces of your favorite beverage. Please consider supporting the UUCG Endowment Fund. Make checks payable to UUCG Endowment Fund. You can mail them to Doug Beers, or you can mail them to UUCG Endowment Fund, Inc., 12 Bethesda Church Road, Lawrenceville, Georgia. If you have, well, you can also go on uucg.org and use PayPal or Venmo to make your contribution. If you have any questions, you may contact any of the members of the Endowment Board of Directors. The chair and treasurer is Doug Beers. Members are Amy Gilderoy, Barbara Stanke, Dave Averett, or Steve Smith. That's me. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you for your service to the Endowment Fund Committee, and thank you to Amy and Barbara and Doug and Dave as well for your service to the Endowment Fund Board. It's so appreciated. That's another way that someone can serve. You have to be a member of the congregation for at least 6 years to serve on the Endowment Fund Board. So think about that possibility for yourself. And now I want to remind everyone that our congregation is committed to creating a more compassionate world. And so to this end, each quarter we share our plate collection with an organization selected by our Giveaway the Plate committee. Our first quarter plate recipient is Beyond the Ribbon, a Gwinnett-based organization advocating for support and resources beyond the diagnosis of cancer to educate, inspire hope, cultivate awareness, and empower individuals. Beyond the Ribbon volunteers educate, support, and provide resources to patients and their families, and offer various initiatives to increase community support for people living with cancer. This is our last Sunday, our last week of collecting. Well, through the end of March, you can still send in contributions. This is our last Sunday offering this opportunity now. Our plate contributions also support the shared ministry of this congregation. So I ask that you please give generously to support this important ministry in our wider community, as well as the vision and mission of this congregation. As we listen to a recording of our pianist Brian Bishop playing An Ocean Drive by Margaret Goldston, you will see on the screen ways to contribute to our offering via PayPal, Venmo, or by mailing a check payable to UUCG to the address shown. If you are worshiping with us for the first time, your presence here today with us is a great gift to this congregation, and you may choose to let the plate pass. The offering will now be gratefully received. May the generous gifts we received this week move us towards realizing our vision of a more connected and compassionate world. I want to thank Bill Benshaw for his assistance with the service this morning and offering his voice for our joys and sorrows. Grateful to Steve Smith for offering his reflection on the endowment fund and the 40 for 40 campaign. Grateful to everyone who assisted with replacing the damaged sidewalk. We'd had several falls there, and it's good that that is fixed. And I know I named some people a few weeks ago, and I wanted to add that Nick Graff and Ed Mack and Kat Miller also assisted. And thank you, Barbara Stanke, for being our Zoom manager today, and Russ Taddeo for running video and sound. And now is the time for our call to connection. To stay strong and vital as a community, we need to seek ways to connect and serve between Sundays. If you are new to our congregation, invite you to text welcoming to the number on the screen. You'll receive a few texts and emails for a few weeks to guide you in connecting. You can also sign up for our weekly e-news that will offer information about upcoming activities. You can send an email to info@uucg.org and ask to be added to our e-news mailing list. You can look at our website to see what's going on, and there is a register for events button on the right side of the front page about midway in that will give you a view of what kind of events are coming up that you can register for. If you are new to our congregation, or you've been coming for a long time and want an opportunity to fall in love with your congregation and Unitarian Universalism all over again, then I invite you to consider signing up for our next Starting Point program, which the registration will open up sometime in April, and I'll let you know when it's open. This program invites newcomers and current members to gather 4 times in a small group ministry model to journey together in exploring Unitarian Universalism, making and deepening connections with new people, and engaging in congregational life in meaningful ways. And if you want to look at our past services, if you've missed some, then please check out our YouTube channel. On April 4th, Easter Sunday, we'll have our flower ceremony. I'm going to do 2 things this year. We'll try something new. So like last year when we were virtual, please send me photos of this year's flowers for our Sunday service. And I'm thinking, since the food drive is also on April 4th from 2 to 4, bring a flower and take a flower, because the flower ceremony is all about sharing our flowers. It's about people bringing them and then exchanging with another one and then taking that out and maybe giving it to someone else. So let's see how it goes. Pop by between 2 and 4 on April 4th, that's 2 weeks from today, to do a flower exchange after our flower ceremony service. If you're looking for ways to be of service, I invite you to support the Asian American community to respond to the increased violence and racism that they have been experiencing for a year, that reached a climax here in Atlanta this week. And so this is one organization you can support. There are many others. Feel free to share on our Facebook group other ways that we can support the Asian American community in Gwinnett County. Also, we are coming up on our annual Unitarian Universalist Association General Assembly, where delegates from all the congregations come together to learn together, to do the business of the association together, to sing together and worship together. It's really lovely, and anyone can attend, and registration's been open for a while, and it's not very expensive to go virtually. And we need 3 people to step up as delegates this year. So if you are interested in serving as a delegate for our congregation and at the bare minimum attending the business sessions that are scheduled, you can go look at uua.org/GA and look at what it's about and look at what the proposed schedule is and see how it might fit with your life. It's June 23rd to 27th, and see if you can weave that into your basket. Property Work Day, April 3rd, the day before our food drive. Step up to trim, and I think the next big project is that peninsula that extends out into the parking lot. We'll be getting that a new retaining wall for that and getting that looking good. So that's the next big project. Food collection on April 4th, as I mentioned, so please bring your donations. If you bring them before Sunday, put them in the gray bin in front of the building. Otherwise, come by between 2 and 4, bring food, bring a flower. And we still need platelets, so please continue to donate platelets if you're able. Appreciate everyone who's done that. Thank you. We are looking at, if you want to look at ways to increase your search for truth and meaning, or engage your search for truth and meaning, one way is to reflect on this question: in what way does UUCG increase your commitment to creating beloved community? And we have a Padlet, an online place where you can write your thoughts on that. And I hope that we're trying to collect all of these by the end of the month. So please pitch in and contribute your thoughts on that. It helps our communication team understand more deeply what makes this community and this congregation so special to you, so that we can make sure we let other people know out there and they can find us and come and join us. We have online faith development resources for all ages. Christiana McQueen has been putting together tremendous resources for people, so please check out that link. It's every Sunday on our e-news, every Friday in the e-news, and it's also on our website. So click on that and see what you can find that might engage your search for truth and meaning. If you have children of elementary school age and not yet registered for our religious exploration program, please consider doing so on our website. All our programs for children require registration in order to gain access. This is our security measures for our children, and they meet on Zoom at 12:30 today and every Sunday except for the second Sunday. And when they get a at-home package of activities to work with. Every Sunday at 10 a.m. we offer a faith development program for adults and teens, and we discuss the theme of the month. This month our theme is commitment. And some other ways you can engage your spiritual life is to attend the book club on this Wednesday evening from 7 to 9, where they're discussing A Woman Is No Man, a novel by Etaf Rum. And Full Moon and Magic and Ritual are on next Monday, 7:30 to 9:30. And the Vision Journal Workshop, a little correction from the e-news, it's on Wednesday, March 31st, from 7 to 9. And then there's lots of things that we do on a regular schedule. Our Gwinnett Understanding Secular Truths is on second Mondays. Covenant Choirs on every Tuesday night. If you're a singer, join us, please. Yarns from the Heart, first and third Wednesdays. Courageous Coffee House on Thursday evenings. Come and bring a poem or a song to sing. Women's Spirituality on second Fridays. Belief Exploration second Sundays. And Exploring Tarot with Sherry has changed to 5 o'clock on Sundays. So make note of that time change. It's 5 o'clock. And then just a reminder for the 40 for 40. I'll be sending my check this week. I hope you'll be sending yours. Rise in spirit as we say together the words we say as we extinguish our chalice, followed by our closing song, Just as Long as I Have Breath, by Alicia S. Carpenter and Johann G. Ebeling. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. In the end, these words from Scott Taylor, in the end, they will know our commitments by our actions. They will measure our legacy by our loyalty to the long haul. Our strength lies in the willingness to bear the burdens of others. Our love lives on to the degree we choose to offer it when the offering isn't easy. So let us choose wisely, with great intention and care, knowing it is not simply we who make promises. Our promises also make us. So faithfully, friends, let us travel into the new day. Amen. Our service has ended, and now our service to one another and our wider communities begins. Be well, beloveds. I will be on study leave Thursday through Monday, and I'll see you in worship on Easter Sunday, April 4th, for our annual flower ceremony.